Welcome back to Let's Clone. My name would be Stephen French, and this is part 11 of Ice Climbers. We're finally going to add that damn polar bear into this pesky little game and get him working, I think all the way, but maybe just mostly. There might have been something I forgot, but we're going to have a polar bear by the end of this. But really quick, all I wanted to say was thank you to those who have subscribed. We're almost at 200, and I know that's a really small number, especially for this YouTube platform, but I'm pretty fucking stoked about this. This channel has only been about game development tutorials, and I have a lot of fun making them, and there's almost 200 of you now. Many thanks. Let's move on. As usual, I'm not actually going to start right away with the point of the video. We're going to do some other things that I forgot to do before and move on from there. First, we're going to go into our controller, and we're going to add just a quick skip for our intro. We can skip the main room. We've already done that, but I want to be able to skip the intro as well because I don't want to wait every time. I don't feel like moving the room around. So we're going to go into, I have in the Popo folder, we have our controller, step event, and in here we're doing a if room is equal to menu, and we'll do enter or press start. We're just going to go with the start key, at least I will, but we're going to do this, or you can do a logical or with two vertical lines, I don't know what those are called, or if you type in or, see how it turns orange. Oh, excuse me, that is good to go. Room is equal to rm underscore intro. If we hit either of those, room next. Now we're going to say else if, this is it's a little bit weird. We're going to check if we're not in that room, and then if we do the same command here, I dropped all my notes, then game restart. That way if we're in the screen, we press start. We're going to do a pause later on before, we might do a pause later on. For right now, we're just going to skip it. Don't need to test that quite yet, because there was also another thing to fix, and this is a bug in our Topi. Into that enemy, Topi bugged yet again. Come into our step, I believe it was line 31. Yeah. Alright, so this version has this, just if place meeting to apply the motion if he is not touching Popo. The issue with that, I believe, is when we kill Popo, or if we kill a Topi, but then we walk into him, he stops moving because of this code. So we're changing that up just a little bit. So we're going to actually do one of those. Again, you can do an and. Oh, I don't know if capital. Let's see. Can you do capitals? No. So you can do and. I'll use that for this one. I don't really like it though. But if place meeting is not Topi and this little guy is alive, do we have a capital on the A? We're going to assume we have a capital on that A. Real quick, make sure we add a second parenthesis, is alive, that, or is not alive. Ooh. Ooh. Good. So now if we are not touching Poppy and we're alive, we're moving, or just if in any case we're not alive, we're not moving. Or if we're not alive, we are moving because we want to scurry out of the way or waddle out of the way. Really quick, let's test those, make sure they work. I guess I'm not actually showing what the bug was, but you could try it. Kill the bird, walk into the bird. He should stop kind of awkwardly. Good, we can skip that. We can hit him, we can get all up in his business, and he's still just going to float away. Hit it again, back in the beginning. I think select was already set to a restart, but doesn't matter to me. And now for the bread and butter of the video. Come into our enemies, create an enemy, sprite, polar bear, edit that bish, file, create from a strip. I'm going to remember to remove background this time because I always forget to. Get this bird. We have 4 of them, so we need 4. They are 18 by 32, and you did not erase the background color. Alright, that didn't work. So just get in here, erase the color, yeah, we're good, it selected the green. I found that sometimes like a little pixel will be left behind, but no, I think we're good. Come into there, modify that mask. The only thing we gotta change is our top. We're dropping that down by 8. Let me just make sure. Did I not write that down? Oh wait, polar bear. Got top down by 8. Yeah. We actually don't need to do this for our death sprite, but I probably will anyways. What this is the polar bear walks across the screen, then he jumps, and he actually doesn't necessarily collide with the block above him. So I didn't want to do any code where like I have to ignore if he's jumping and if the block is over his head, because his face in the actual game or in the emulator that I'm playing, his face kind of goes behind the brick. I just lower the collision mask, it doesn't detect it, and he's good. He's good, damn good. Center that, and we're almost done. We're going to create another sprite. Polar bear. Wow, can't type. Polar bear. Dead. Same old jazz. Oops. Create from a strip. We've got this guy, but we only want one. We are also going to do a vertical cell offset of 1, so we're just on this little guy in here. Oh, let's get rid of him. I don't know what I did wrong. Create from a strip. This strip. Remove background color. 18 by 32 down by 1. This. I wish I could zoom in. Well, I'm gonna do a vertical pixel offset. I think I might have fucked up when I made his little sprite, because he was kind of a, yeah, it was weird. It looks better now. I probably won't fix it, so you might have to follow along exactly. Modify, going to full image top 8. Just give it the same mask. I didn't do that on my other version, so I don't think it matters at all, but we're here, we're doing it. Getting into it further, come on down, we have now an object, polar bear. We're going to give him a sprite mask of the regular polar bear. And we're going to create this bitch. Initialize, whoops, PB, Princess Bubblegum. So let me just see where we're at. Create line of at 1, initialize. All right, so we're going to need a few different variables for this here bird. It's not a bird, I shouldn't say that, it's confusing. There are birds in this game. So we have a direction, we have a speed, which is going to be equal to 3. Did I set that at 3? Is that correct? Yeah, I guess it's correct. We have an H speed equal to 0. We have a vertical speed equal to 0. We have a jump speed equal to 5. Now we have a couple booleans. We have a boolean for jump, or rather, I'm going to call it jumping. This might confuse me a bit because it was jump originally, now it's jumping. If I type jump anywhere and it doesn't break, it's because of that. So heads up, I'm all fuck up. Has jumped is equal to false. And then we have a delay jump. It's equal to 30, or rather 1 second. Just about. Cool, we've got a create event. I've got a whole bunch of notes with me this time, so I'm not going to be making as many goofs. Done! Step event. Now, this should all be pretty obvious. If you've followed along so far, this should all make sense to you. These are just creating variables. I'm going to use them later. Not going to use all of them right away, I don't think. I wrote the script up and did all the code within the past few days, so I'm forgetting a little bit of it, but it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. All right, so in our step event, whoops, life of a polar bear. Oh my god. We're going to first apply some very rudimentary physics, basically just gravity. The same as we use for everything else, just about for gravity. If vertical speed is less than 10 would be our, I guess, terminal velocity, you could say. Then vertical speed plus equals to controller.gravity, a variable that, again, we've created in the past. Now we're going to set our default walk speed. And this is going to be if, I hate having this pad of paper here, but I kind of need it to be here. If place, oh my god. I have my arms like kind of around my notebook, so typing is just a little bit different, and it's making it a lot bit tougher. X, Y plus 1, I'll explain what all this does in a second. Block parent. And the floor of our vertical speed is equal to 0, and I don't like using ands. I'm not using ands. I'm using the ampersand. Keep the other ones. Do it with ands. I don't care. Just I'm not. It looks bad to me. And sprite index. So I gotta type it out. Sprite index is equal to sprite polar bear. if all that is Gucci, actually we don't need that. Oh my God, Steven, you're hitting backspace too many times. It's not good. Horizontal speed is equal to speed. Oh. Come on back to create. Speed should be 1. I wrote it down before I changed it. Alright, and then we're going to have an else if sprite index is equal to sprite polar bear dead. Aw, so many. And in that case, h speed is equal to speed times 2. Now, really quick, what this means for us. Can I see it all? I can. So, if place meeting of x, y plus 1 is block parent, meaning that if we were to take our sprite, move it down 1 pixel, are we touching a floor? And if our vertical speed is, or our floor vertical speed, floor is meaning we're going to truncate it, we're going to take off any decimals, we're going to just, so we're pretty much, no matter what, even if we're standing still, gravity's trying to push us down. So right here, we're adding 0.2 to our speed, so it'd be 0.2. So we don't want to look at the decimals, because if it's staying at 0.2, it means we're staying still, we just haven't canceled it yet. So checking the floor of our vertical speed is equal to 0, meaning that we're not traveling up or down. Sprite index is equal to or sprite polar bear. If I wanted to have an is alive boolean, we would replace that with this. If so, we're setting our speed to our regular speed. Else if we are in our death state, again, is alive would be the boolean we could use here, then we're just doubling our speed. We're moving at 2 pixels per frame instead of 1. If you kill the guy in the emulator, you hit him and he just scurries out the screen. In a weird, like awkward, like they didn't give him a very thought out death animation. He's just kind of stuck in a pose and going. But, oh, we're stuck. She's going to be here for a little while. Now, that is all for our default walking. You know, let's make this big. Come down here, and we're going to do our jump trigger. If you know already what this guy does, he walks about halfway across the screen, he jumps up and down, and then he shifts the camera up. One thing I haven't finished yet, it'd be really simple, you guys could probably do it ahead of me, is if the screen shifts up and Popo is on the bottom, so the screen kind of moves past him, he should die because he's underneath the camera. Pretty simple to do. Oh, I dropped my SNES controller. But we need to give him a trigger. We need to let him know when he should jump. So we're going to say if has not jumped, so that's the exclamation point, and x is equal to room width divided by 2. Since we're moving at 1 pixel per frame, we're always going to be able to hit that exact number. Room width divided by 2, I'm in an even number. I don't know if that would give me... We should probably floor that just in case our room was an odd number. I don't want to get a decimal because then x would never match it. But this works, so I'm not going to. But in that case of we have not jumped yet and we've hit the middle of the room, I'm going to say if alarm 0, keep in mind we have not created the alarm yet, is less than 0. This is typically how I make a timer or a trigger for an alarm. Alarm 0 is equal to delay jump. So out of this, outside of that if statement, so we're now just here, we're going to say image speed is equal to 0 and image index is equal to 1. What this is going to do, really, really quick, is if we come into here, now we're going to be walking, let's say 3. So we're going to be walking with this little guy just walking across the screen. When we get to the middle of the screen, he doesn't just jump right away. He stops moving for about a second, and then he jumps up and down, and he just stays in this sprite, this like just standing up and down sprite the whole time. So we're just going to walk. When we get to that point where we should jump, we're going to have him pause for the duration of that delay. Then we're going to stop his speed, set him to standing, and take care of it from there. Lastly, is we actually need to stop him from walking, so horizontal speed is equal to 0. Now down here, we're going to leave our step event for just a second because I want to actually put in that alarm timer now. So we're going to come on back, add event, alarm 0. Get over here. So jump the bear, jump the shark. We're going to set jump is equal to true. You'll see why in a second. Where am I? Has jumped is equal to true. Vertical speed is going to be minus equal j speed. I probably should I don't think he'd be falling. That'd be weird. This works, but I'm wondering now why it works. If he's falling, I don't want to do minus equals because then he won't jump quite as high. So we're going to change what I have. It's equal to negative jump speed. You could just set jump speed to a negative value and just have it equal to that. Image speed is equal to 0.2. Now, interesting. Oh, that's image speed. This should be fine. I mean, it works, but again, I've kind of forgotten what I did. All right, come back down into our step event. And then we're going to initiate jump. So here, we're just kind of trying to set up a delay for when he's going to be able to walk again. And then here, this is going to actually... It's going to make sense when I type it out because it made sense when I made it, and then I just haven't looked at it in a bit. I apologize. But if jump is equal to true, that is only going to be true after that alarm has triggered, so after that second delay. We're going to say if place meeting, x, y plus 1, same thing that we did before, seeing if we are touching the floor. And the same check here, var for our vertical speed is equal to 0. So we've jumped, but now we're waiting until we've landed back on the ground. We're going to do jump is equal to false. We're going to do object camera, oh my god, object camera dot y minus equals to 48. Oh, see what I mean? See what I mean? Jumping. Yeah, oh my god. Oh, jumping. I can't even pronounce it. Jumping. I fucking knew I was gonna do it, and I did it. Let me just come on back. Jumping is equal to true. I don't know, this makes a little more sense to me saying it that way. Now this is gonna be a new variable that we haven't created yet, but it's gonna be in our camera dot time since shift is equal to 0. We've closed out both of those. We are good. Cool, now we're going to take another break from the step event so we can go in and create that camera variable. So come into our object camera. We need to, I think we need to create, I forgot to write that part down. We're going to say time since shift is equal to 0. That is what I called it, right? All right, but then we're also going to use this in our step event. What? I'm sorry. Cut, add, that is a create, not a step. We need to initialize that variable. God damn it, Steven. No. Paste. U. Delete. All right. So we initialize the camera. We set our time since shift to 0. We're going to come down here, and we kind of already had this. And when I was looking at it before, I forgot why we took it out, but it seems that we're putting it back. So we're going to be here, and object popo.y is less than y. Object popo.y less than y. Cool. Now I think we're missing a parenthesis. This and oh, we need to get rid of this. There you go. So you have if place is not mating with popo, so if the camera is not touching popo, or and popo's vertical speed is 0, meaning he's not jumping, which yeah, should be fine. And popo.y, so by popo.y is less than the y, I mean that the player is above the midpoint of the camera. Then we are setting this part to that, and we are also going to do time since shift is equal to 0. Yeah, so we are above, because you got to be like, this is typically triggered when the player jumps above the green portion of the camera. So we're flat on the red and then it goes. The only thing that we're adding is we're making sure it's above. The reason we're doing that is if the polar bear shifts the camera, and like I said before, the player is beneath the camera, then the camera just thinks that it's like, oh shit, we haven't caught up to the player, and it just skyrockets up to the top. We don't want to do that. We're just setting ourselves up for a condition where we can kill the player or reset the game or decrement the lives and not have the camera run away from us. That's all that does, and then we're setting time sense shift back to 0. Now, polar bear continued. I'm now just trusting myself that I got all this written down on the paper correctly. Back into our step event, we're gonna, after we initiate the jump, we're gonna do something very basic that we've done in everything else. Collision detection. But we're gonna separate this a little bit from our horizontal and our vertical. If, we've all seen this before, place meeting at x plus horizontal speed, y at our block parent. There we go. Now we're gonna do our little like perfect pixel collision. We're gonna check while we are not touching in the direction of our horizontal speed, but only 1 pixel. So x plus the sine of our horizontal speed, y block parent. While we are not touching at 1 pixel away, x plus equals to the sine of our horizontal speed. So we're going to move 1 pixel forward, and then we're going to set horizontal speed equal to 0. It's at the end of the round, so I don't think it would matter, because by the time this would all run again, it would have, like, HSPA would be updated through everything else, but we have it there, don't worry about it. And then this is the horizontal. We're going to also, I love copy paste, vertical. This will be y plus our vertical speed. And this is going to be while there we go. The sine of our vertical speed. And then y is equal to the sine of the vertical speed, and our vertical speed is set to 0. Forgot to do this part. So why we're doing this separated is because of this line here. I want to apply x, which is x plus equals horizontal speed. This is why we need the horizontal speed equals 0. My bad. And then we want to apply our y, y plus equals to vertical speed. Repeat for vertical. That's all I told myself. Cool. Really quick rundown as to what's going on into this guy. We've got our physics pulling our guy down. We have set up our walk speed, so we are walking at a speed of 1 when we're alive and touching the floor, and we are walking with a speed of 2 when we are dead, or rather hovering. It'll look weird. We are checking that if we have not jumped and we hit the middle of the room, we are setting a trigger to delay for 1 second while we pause our polar bear in place. After that has happened, when jumping is true, we are going to check until we've hit the ground. Once we've hit the ground, we are going to shift the map up. And this is only going to be occurring for 1 frame because because jumping will be set to false. What? Oh, yeah, we're setting jumping to false right away. So we're only going to hit this once, then we're going to turn it off, or rather flip the Boolean. We're going to shift that, and we're going to have the camera keep track of how long it's been since it's been shifted. We haven't been incrementing that yet, so don't worry if that part seems like it hasn't been done. We're checking our collisions with our block or our solid objects horizontally, then we're applying our X, and we're checking our vertical, and then we're adjusting our Y. The reason we're doing that is he kind of falls off the map in a bit of a different way, falls down the holes a little bit differently than everyone else, and I had, because he's bigger mostly, I had more problems where sometimes he would fall instead of like hitting the map and then falling down and then moving over. It would kind of apply his X and his Y, and he would overlap, and he'd get stuck on the side of an edge. I don't want that to happen, so we fixed it. And I think we can get out of here. Yes, good. I think that's everything with our step event. Don't need to put this in quite yet, but since we're already here, we're going to. And fuck, I'm going to have so many bugs because I'm not actually running any tests. We're going to have a weird time. But let's set up our collision with our Popo attack block. Box, not Bach. Called this one the slaughterhouse. We're going to say if x is greater than room. What? Oh. Oh shit, I'm reading the wrong one. This is not the slaughterhouse. This is also slaughterhouse because I'm sorry, all backwards. I was doing the outside room, or reading that one. We're gonna call this one slaughterhouse as well. If place meeting at x, y, object. This is collision with box side, right? Y plus 1 block parent. I'm going to say image speed is equal to 0. We're going to say sprite index is equal to 0. No, sprite index is equal to sprite polar bear dead. Horizontal speed is equal to speed times 2. It's just 2, but just in case you want to change the value, you don't want to go find all these magic numbers. Then we're going to set has jumped equal to true. Now, even though he hasn't jumped yet, this is just so if we kill him in the first half of the room, like before he gets to that trigger point, we don't want him to get to that trigger point, and this was one of the booleans it was checking for. So when he's dead, we're just going to assume, or we're going to kind of tell him that he's already jumped, and then he'll skip that check. Now, this is what happens if we hit the bear. We can only hit him when he's on the ground. I imagine I did that for some important reason that I don't remember now. It'd be kind of weird for you to be able to hit him while he's in the air. You want the jump to happen because it's already kind of happening, and he's almost always on the ground, so I think that's why I accepted this one. Another thing, come down here to other, we're going to add outside room. Now we don't want to just kill him when he's outside the room because we're going to be spawning him outside of the room on the left, so we're going to account for that. Slaughterhouse part 2. I don't comment very well. Maybe in one of these tutorials I'll learn how. Please comment more than me. This is the one we're doing. If x is greater than room with divided by 2, just meaning that we're on the right side of the screen. Instance destroy. All this does is it triggers whenever the player is outside of the map. So he's going to start outside of the map, but he's going to fail this condition, so he will continue to live another day. Neat. Almost done. Come down into our controller. We're going to go into our step. We need to create another step. Now, up here, that's where we adjusted the start button thing. I don't know why it's still called debug. It's there. It happens. But we're going to spawn polar bear. Now, if instance does not exist, oh, exists, object polar bear. I want to type in and instance exists, object camera. I'm being specific with this one, oops, because it's inside the controller object, which is a persistent object, so it's going to be in all of our rooms, even though our polar bear and our camera will not be in some of those rooms. So we only want to check for this in the correct places. This is going to be a nested if statement, so inside of this if, technically this is tabbed in, but when I do if statements without curly brackets, I just kind of prefer the aesthetics of this. Object camera dot time to shift is greater than delay PB. All right, which we need to actually initialize, so I did not do that yet. So control, we're gonna come down into our create event, and we're gonna do this to 90, so it's gonna be 3 seconds for right now. More for testing's sake. I can't talk today. Instance create at 0 at the far left of the screen. That's why he's going to be partly off screen with his origin being in the center of the sprite. I guess you could put that back -4, but for the most part he's going to be hidden by the wall, so it doesn't really matter. Object camera dot y minus 50 and object polar bear. Y minus 50 is probably not the smartest way I could have gone about doing this. I found that, like, because we know where the camera is, I was able to count the pixels and figure out where to put him so he is touching the ground. I haven't had any issues with that I've noticed. I had some issues before when I was doing it. You could make it a little smarter. Instead of just picking a spot, you kind of pick a range check for any position in there that he wouldn't be colliding with the floor. It's just a little more work, and I didn't find this to break, but if it does break, it'll be in another video. And that's all I wrote, but something isn't happening correctly. Because time to shift needs to be incrementing. Like right now, if we try to run this, but I do a show debug message, I could add the fix now, but I want to see if this works. Object camera dot time to shift, which we're going to need to do an if instance exists. Don't type this part. This is just a test. So if we have a camera in the room, we're going to be printing time to shift down at in our console, and it's not going to print anything higher than 0. But we'll see if I have any bugs anywhere. Well, it probably won't, because it won't create a polar bear, because it'll never be higher than 0. Bang. Oh, we do. See, if object camera dot time to shift is greater than that, object camera dot unknown variable. Time sense shift. I'm sorry. Bang. Always a chance for bugs. Always an opportunity for bugs. Bugs. Neat. We're there. It's just printing 0. Doesn't matter what happens. Everything else still works. We jump out of the screen, and let's demonstrate that uber quick. We're here. This one should trigger it. The screen comes up. That works just fine. But we're never incrementing this number. I don't remember where I put it before, so we're just going to put it in our camera. Yeah. Time sense shift plus plus. Now we're going to watch some magic happen. And again, this is only happening after every 3 seconds. Polar bear is not that persistent. He usually took between like a minute and 10 seconds while I was testing it on the emulator. But see how that's counting? It's going to get up to 90. Polar bear came out, and we fucked it up. VAP. Fuck me. Let's see how many typos I didn't catch. Life of a polar bear. Vertical speed. My apologies. I will find a way to fuck up. That's just, it's what's going to happen. It's what's for dinner. Alright, I'm going to get out of the way so he doesn't suffocate me into the abyss. Have him run away. He walks, he makes a halfway, he jumps, and bam. Now he was scurrying at a pretty fast rate. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Oh, we never set his image, or what did I set his image speed to? I didn't set his image speed. Fuck. What is it? We're gonna say image speed is equal to 0.2. That's really fucking slow. 2? Is it 2 or 0.2? One of those is really slow, one of those is potentially really big. I mean, after he jumped and he landed, he was walking at the right speed, so I think I should just do whatever I had for the... Oh, yeah, 2's way too fucking fast. There's only 4 frames. 2 of them are duplicates. I'm hoping only 2 of them are duplicates. If that's only needs 2... Well, I guess it wouldn't look terrible with 2 frames. See, alright. So he comes out. See, I think he actually fell a little bit, so that 50 might have been wrong. But he makes it halfway, he jumps, and then you see right there, well, he's going to die because the Toby was still walking. But yeah, that can be fixed later on. I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to try to catch up to him, though, because I want to break... I want to kill the polar bear, so I might not be able to on the first try. Oh, I got him. So he's here, hit him, and he goes. Now the polar bear, I have him set to... what was he? How wide is he? He's 18 wide, so he doesn't fall through a double hole. I don't know if he should, but he can fall through a triple, so I'll show you that quick. So he's walking, falls through a triple, makes it to a 0 point, jumps, keeps moving on his way. Golden. And that is how you save the polar bears. You just make them one at a time, you have them kill people, you reverse the process, we're good. Polar bears are back. They're wearing pink swim shorts, taking over the world, and trying to prevent us from winning this game. I kept that variable at 90 because I was still testing the polar bears and such, but he's coming out every 3 seconds, so adjust that. You should be able to do like, it takes about a minute, so I would say like 60 times, and then I think FPS you could use, or there's a variable in there, I've used it before, that counts the frame rate, or you can just type in 60 times 30, so 1800, and that would be a minute, and then after a minute, he triggers. I'm probably just going to keep him at like a minute static because it was varying within like 5 to 10 seconds when I was playing the game. I don't know what the actual delayed chance is. I don't know, minute works for me, so I did that. If you have any questions with this, please let me know. If you have any suggestions for future games, I think I'm going to try to do a Commodore 64 title next, maybe some Castlevania after that. I do have to get around to Mario and Sonic and Pac-Man, and there's a massive list. Hopefully I can get them all done in time. That's about it. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks again for getting us close to 200. Let's see if we can get to that and then add some zeros to the end of it. Enjoy the fuck out of your day.